Hi there, it's Barb Pask here. Going to paint a little bit bigger tonight. This is an 11 by 14 panel that I've toned fairly bright, and I'll show you what I'm going to do without moving you around too much. I've set up a still life with a copper pot and some fake hydrangeas, a couple old books, and a little purple bottle. Would be nice if the flowers were real, but the fake ones look pretty good, I think. So I got you pretty much directly in front of it, so I'll be looking around you. I have my dirty little view catcher. I promise I'm going to break down and buy a new one day. You know, it's one of those things just don't ever think about. I ordered some more art supplies today, and I probably could have bought one. I ordered some canvases and some paints, and don't even think about it, you know. So I'm trying to get you where you got a really nice view. Keep playing with my microphone. I want you to hear well, and need it like hanging down in front of my face somehow. All right, so let's get a little brush and a paper towel here, and we'll mix up some dark paint and get it sketched in. So I'm taking ultramarine and transparent red oxide, making something very dark. And again, we're working a little bit bigger, so maybe we'll get it done, maybe we won't, I don't know, we'll just, but I'm doing it horizontal. I look through here for my composition. And again, you're kind of in my way here, so hopefully we can do this. I was setting down, and I felt like, well, I think it's better to stand and paint if you can, for one thing. You know, get you back from the canvas, and I think that's always good. Plus, it seemed to work better with the camera. So, all right, let's kind of look at placement here. You know, we can kind of start out, you know, just kind of find things that way. Occasionally I do that. I said I got this little purple bottle. It's going to be about there. I said I'm kind of wearing this brush out. And the books run pretty much over to the edge. They go down from the pot. Again, we're just kind of half-ass, oops, sorry, I shouldn't cuss, placing things. Hope everybody had a good Christmas. New Year's. We went over to see some friends. We probably spent the last 25 New Year's Eves with them, except for, you know, last year during COVID we didn't. There's been a few we've missed, but most of them, so it's been really nice. We remembered well bringing in 2,000. Gosh, everybody expected that the computers would crash. I don't know if you remember that. Nothing happened, but yeah, it's just hard to believe how quickly time goes. Again, I'm just kind of quickly doing this, and then we may have to adjust a lot. And I want to try to get things, again, as I've been doing, I've been trying to slow down on my sketch. Whoa, sorry about that. Try to get everything, well, is it done moving? It's just walking its way down here, isn't it? I must not have had it clipped in there good. It's a working easel, isn't it? When you're drawing a little bottle like this, sometimes I just go across, you know, kind of do the bottom separately. Kind of helps to get this part of it symmetrical. If you're a person that believes in prayer, I ask you to pray for my sister, Gloria. She was diagnosed yesterday with COVID, and I called her today. She sounded horrible. She just thought it was bronchitis when it started. I think this new variant kind of resembles a cold a lot. I've heard that over and over. So if you think you got a cold, it might not just be a cold. Her husband, he's not sick like her, but he didn't get tested, but I worry he's got it too. And my younger brother said he's got a cold. So every time you hear that, you worry, is it a cold or is it COVID? Just strange times, isn't it? We just like things to get back to normal. All right, these are water mixable oils if you're new to my channel. So though I don't dip into the water much for painting, I do use it for cleanup. I do use solvent-free liquid to thin down my paints a little bit. That's kind of new to me. I'm switching to a brush that's a little bit bigger, not so much like a little pencil. We're still drawing. I'm still in the drawing process, but I'm going to think a little bit more value too while we're doing this here. It can kind of give you a step up. Say you're painting a tree, and say it's a burgundy tree, but it's maybe value-wise, maybe it's a 6. It can kind of help your process to get some dark value on it before you start. And then just go over it with your color. I'm just looking at one object at a time. This bottle, again, is purple. Those are the darkest parts of it there. But we're going to go ahead and lightly put some color on all of it. This part down here is kind of catching reflections from the table. So we're going to use our little tool by Catalyst. It's a rubber scraper, and we'll use it definitely through the drawing process, maybe through the painting process, where I want the paint a little thinner. I can see table reflections through there, through that area. So again, I'm just taking my time and enjoying this part of the process too. Got some nice highlights on there we'll be going for later. Got a shadow out there from the bottle. And does the purple bottle work? you know, I probably will put some purple tones in here too, kind of pull it together. I just, I like the purple bottle. So, all right, let's shift to the pot and look to where we see, like around the flower in here, I see some really dark looking down into the pot a little bit, over into that area. And the copper pot I want to be our focal point, so we'll have some nice rich color in it. I think that's a reflection of the bottle I'm seeing right there that looks a little darker. So we're just putting, again, this is kind of a value sketch too, so we're just putting in some of these values that we see. And these are white, obviously. Just put a few touches of where I see some darker areas. Maybe we'll go ahead over here where, you know, this is not catching much light, and we'll go ahead and darken it on this side of this one too. You know, no mistakes. You can always correct it if you've gone too far, and you can scrape it off. I find oils to be very forgiving. A lot of people say they're like sculpting, and they kind of are. Okay, let's look a little more careful at these books. There's a shadow under there. I'm going to use my brush handle, you know, and kind of look at the angles of these books and see, you know, if I feel like I've got things right. Look at the top angle. Got a lot of old books, and I bought them mostly for props over the years. Some of them are very interesting. I've got these little tiny books that are all German. I think they're little religious books. Okay, now let's recheck this. Kind of curves around, comes down, and then that goes across, and that goes down. You know, and there's really no, I'm trying to see if there's even any words on top of this book. There's kind of a pattern. There's a diamond there. And this book, I'm going to scrape some of that out. The bottom book is red, and the light's hitting it, so oops, hope it doesn't fall over. I didn't tape it up there this time. As you can see, I just leaned it. All right, I think it's pretty good. I don't want to leave any. I got quite a bit of paint there. Let's wipe that. You know, I don't want to fight with the paint, have so much on there that it's... So where do we want to start? I've been starting lately with the lightest lights, which would be the hydrangeas. Normally with hydrangeas, I block in the mass, and then I come back with a palette knife and suggest some of them, which is probably what we'll do. So let's start with the lightest light, which again would be the hydrangeas. So let's put some white out here. The lightest part is going to be right here where the light's catching and on the edge of this one. Okay. So I'm going to put a little yellow in them. You know, and nobody says they have to be the color you see there. This is your, you know, it's your painting, your world, so it's your impression of what you see there. So, and I don't want to get maybe completely as light as I'm going, because when I lay on some highlights with the palette knife, I probably want those to be my lightest light, okay? And into some of this, I'm going to gray it down a bit, make it darker. So I typically have 3 values in most things. So I'm switching to a fairly large brush, and I'm going to go into the light mixture. And again, this will not be our lightest light. I'm sorry this is bouncing. I probably should have taped it up there. And I don't mind, you know, we want to leave some of the tone showing through, so. All right, I'm looking for those lightest lights. I think I may join the Monday group this Monday and take a couple still lifes in for whoever wants to paint with me. I just don't ever tire of doing still lifes. I know some people do. I think a lot of people do them when they're learning to paint, and then later on they don't really want to do them anymore. I like looking at a good still life, and I just like that I created the thing from the beginning. You know, I chose all the items. You know, I'd set up the light source. I don't know. I just never tire of a good still life. So as you can see, we've gone cooler and darker. for the part of the flower that's not catching as much light. You know, and I could, you know, put in flower shapes if I wanted. It's all on how you want to do it, you know. I do want some flower shapes. I do want you to know they're hydrangeas, but I also want to be impressionistic, and I don't want to get too picky with them. All right. I think if I went everywhere I want to go, we've got green leaves up here, in here. It's a bit of a green leaf here. And again, we're probably going to come back with a palette knife and hit it with some brighter lights, which I could do now, but I'm just going to move on. Okay. I think we'll go ahead and put those greens in that I see. I even see a green leaf over there. All right, let's lighten this up with more yellow and a little white. Let me get a little more paint. All right, we're going to clean this brush and we're going to go to the copper now. Copper, you know, is orange. So we're going to mix up a puddle of orange first. It's a good starting place. Some cad red light, some cad yellow medium. That's a nice pure orange. Now, I'm going to go after my, not my highlight, but my lightest light first. Okay? So much of this, I can see that it's orange with probably some transparent red oxide in it. You know, it leans more that way. So, all right, we'll pull some of this orange aside, and I'm going to put some white in it. Okay, I see it as I look over there. It's more yellow than that. You know, and I can go at that a variety of ways. I can, I may have to get some more yellow out here. And I'm probably going to try to mix 3 values with this too. And I talk about it every time, but you know, then you can intermix those three values and get something in between too. So I put some transparent red oxide in some of that orange, and then I'm putting transparent red oxide and some ultramarine in some of it too, to pull it darker yet. There's some areas of it that are fairly dark, like the reflection here. If we get it wrong, we get it wrong, right? We just go at it again. We can always scrape it off. So let's get into the lightest color that I mixed, and I'm going to lay that where I see it. Again, hopefully not playing with it too much. Okay, I'm going to go just a little more orange, because this down here, I don't know if I'm getting a table reflection or what it is. It doesn't really matter, but it's fairly light, but yet a little more orange. So we'll block that square in that I see. Over here I see some light. Again, I'm just trying to work it like a puzzle and put in what I see. Yeah, I paint with a group just in the summers, a Cincinnati group here. I used to be with them full time, but I'm not anymore. And they have a big show every March, and the whole month of March. And last year, because of COVID, I didn't even, as a summer member, I can put one painting in. And last year, I chose not to even bother. I mean, it's a lot of work for one painting, you know. You got to drop it off, pick it up. They'd like you to sit the show. You know, it's a lot. So anyway, they're putting my image on their postcard this year. So I guess I better enter, right? Of course I am. But I was real surprised they did that. Very nice, you know. So my one painting will be on their postcard along with a couple other images. I put a little more crimson in this. I'm just trying to block in what I see. Again, I think that's the reflection of the bottle. I'm pulling this a little more orange. I just think it might be more attractive. I know I'm blending more than I might normally blend, but I want to like it, so do what you have to do. You know, I don't want it to feel so patchworky. I'm going to try something here. I feel like I need a few more darks inside the pot there. All right, we'll move on for now. You know, and because I've laid it on this way, I don't have to leave it. I mean, I could come in here and soften some of this, and, you know, we might need to. But let's leave it that way for now. All right, let's move to the purple, little purple bottle. And I have a limited palette, so my purest red is ultramarine, and alizarin crimson. So we'll make a purple and then we'll do something lighter, and then we will, it's got some highlights on it too. I think I'm going to switch to a brush that's a little bit smaller. And all right, let's put the lightest colors we see in first. This area down here is lighter, and I think it's because of the table. I like purple. I'm not really sure what's creating this shape, but that's okay. And a little more crimson, just to some of these reflections are probably from the ceiling light. Now, I think I'm going to soften that shape even though I see it in there, because and I'm looking to make sure it's symmetrical. So I don't know. We'll see if we like that. Let's move along. Okay, I'm looking at this shape now and thinking this book might be a little high, because I'm looking at this negative shape right here. And actually, let's look at this again real careful. I'm feeling like I'm going to wipe these off a little bit anyway, so we can sketch a little bit again. Let me check. I want to check it. I just don't think it's quite right. Okay, there's a shadow right here, which okay, and the pot comes down to about there. and then the book. And let me look at this negative space right here. Yeah, see, the book is not quite in the right place. You know, does it matter? Yeah, maybe. And the bottom of it comes everything plays off everything else. I've always said that if you get one thing in the right place, you can kind of do your whole drawing off of that if you got it right. So, I looked at how far down from the handle this came, and my negative space, how far out then the book went. Drawing error, it's a common thing. And would it matter? I don't know, but we caught it, so. And our shadow kind of runs across like that. Okay, so if this book's here, this one comes down about that far, and you can see the top of it, about that much of it. So we kind of, had it sketched on and we lost that, and that's okay. And we may have to correct the copper pot here too. We'll see. We may need more color down to that point. This one's bigger, and we got quite a bit going on, so of course it's going to take a little bit longer. Watch this in 2 parts if it's too much. I appreciate you doing that rather than fast forwarding through it. If I know you do that, and I do that too, but I'd appreciate it if you'd eventually watch through it, because I guess YouTube looks at your how the time that people spend watching your videos too. So that helps me if you would make your way through them. All right, let's move on. No reason, but you go after either book first. Back to my bigger brush again. So the top of this book, it's an orangey red. And we'll see if we like it. I mean, it may be too distracting even. We'll see. It's not my focal point, and as it comes down here, you see a little bit of it too. We'll clean up the shape of this as we paint the edges, the background, I mean. I made that edge lighter where it's catching the light, but I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, the light's kind of, I'm looking at it over there, it's kind of coming from this angle. It's darker in there. I'm looking at the angle of the back of the book, you know, it is laying down and we want it to feel like it's laying down, so. This edge I'm feeling like should be darker. I'm pulling some of that purple up into these flowers. think we have to look at this book again. I'm still feeling like maybe it's feels as though it's tilting up a little bit. I don't want that. We will get it. You know, eventually. All right, I think we'll go ahead and get some color on the background. Take some ultramarine, my usual, and transparent red oxide. I got to get some more out here. And I do have a shadow here. Get a little solvent. Oops, sorry about that. I'm afraid the canvas was going to fall, so I went for it. About knocked you over. Yeah, we'll tape it up next time. I think that's better. It's just bouncing all around this way, isn't it? Okay, we're going to lighten that up a little bit now. Put a little white into that, but I want to keep it warm, so maybe a little more of the transparent red oxide, so we keep it warm. I think the eye likes warm colors. The corner's a good place to leave, you know, some of that pink showing through, I think. That's about where I don't want to, I have to make a decision on the tabletop. It's actually about here, but I don't want to line it up with there. You know, I'd want to go down here. I'm going to keep it up there and we'll decide. You got to think about that kind of thing, you know, creating odd tangents and stuff. So as you can see, I'm doing a little mixing right on the board. About there, huh? I've got a show the first Saturday in February, so I need to think about if I'm going to complete some things to take to that you know, some different things. I do, if you remember a while back, I started that big white goose with the babies, and I wasn't happy with the babies. I haven't touched it again, but I re-sketched them out, so I think I'm going to paint over those babies again, and I may frame that and take that with me. And I got a few things that just need signed and framed, and it's an odd time of year, isn't it? It's the first Saturday in February every year, and some years we get snow, but it's never gotten canceled, I don't think. Really nicely run show. All the church members volunteer, and Yeah, it's at a church. But it's a juried show. It's a nice juried show. Northminster Fine Art. So I'm happy that they invited me back. Well, I submitted and they were letting me come back, so. I could have spent more time mixing this in on the palette, but as you can see, I'm kind of doing some mixing up here, which is okay too. All right. That's the thing with painting bigger too. You spend a lot more time just doing things like this too, blocking in the background, you know, things that aren't as fun. I don't like a definite line where the foreground meets the background. I'm not sure about those very saturated shadows. I would say no. It's just I grabbed that purple, but yeah. I think they're a little intense. All right, so the canvas is covered. Took a while, didn't it? And I admire if you hung in there. It's been an hour. Especially as you've watched the whole thing. Thank you, thank you. Just trying to ground these things a little more. Ooh, I have a lot of blue on that brush, don't I? I actually was trying to go a little bit darker with that binding. All right. The only thing we're going to do, and I'm not going to say it's finished at all because I'm probably going to have to really look at it, is we'll work on these hydrangeas before we go here. I feel as though this handle is probably a little light. It's the one that's over there, not really in the direct light, so I'm toning it down a little bit. All right, let's get into something. We'll add more white into the color we had there, and then we'll take our palette knife and we're gonna see what we can do to develop these a little more. Hopefully I can do without knocking this off. I like flowers to be kind of three-dimensional, and I like texture in them. So I am thinking about, you know, the way hydrangeas are made, little petals. Sorry, getting a little tough with it. See if I can hang on to the edge of it. Hitting that leaf a little bit. And actually, it's a bit of a green leaf over there. I may not have improved that just then. You may be thinking that, right? I'm actually going to take a little bit of this purple, and because this is a reflection of that bottle, we're going to put some of that in there. This value I can tell is too light right now. My eye is pulling over there. You know, that little square is too light. You know, when you mix as you go, that just happens, you know. Got into that blue there. You know, I still feel like this book needs some work. I feel like it's up in the air. So I've got to recheck very carefully all these angles. Something's off there. I've got to recheck these angles. I looked at this space right in here, and that's about right. But something's off. Something's making it look up. So I will keep working on it. So while I've got the setup here, I'll look at all that again. So I think it might be fun to put a little bit of that purple in there. We'll see. It might be too light. It's one fun thing about doing something that's reflective. I'm going to wipe these off and redo these highlights. They need to be light. They need to be very orangey. There's like 4 of them hitting 1, 2, 3, 4. Palette knife always catches the ceiling light and it blinds me when I get it right here in front of me. Hopefully it doesn't do that to you. All right, we may call it for tonight. Again, I am not done with this book. Well, I don't know if I'm done with any of it. That is very intense. All right, things I like and don't like. I like the purple bottle, but I think I may do a little more blending on it because I think it feels a little. Let's try just some soft blending. Because I don't want it to feel patterned. So I think that feels better. I'm looking at this, deciding if I think it needs a little blending. And again, I've got to address this book. I'm looking at this, which should really help me, and at my angles, but I feel as though it's tipping up. It probably feels that way to you too. So again, this comes down, you know, that angle feels pretty right, but something's off. So I'm probably going to just go ahead and wipe some of it off so I can readjust where I need to, figure out what's going on. I like the bottom one. It's the top one that's bothering me. I feel like this corner's up in the air. So I know you see it too, so it's always easy to watch somebody else paint and see what they're doing wrong, isn't it? Yeah, I feel as though it needs to come down already. That feels better to me. So I'll get it. I'll just keep at it till I do. This highlight over here is very bright, but it feels a little too bright to me, being on that dark side up there, even though I see it that way. I'll just cut it back a little bit. Okay, so I like a lot of things about it. I love copper, and I think the hydrangeas feel pretty good, and I like a little jar. And again, this book is fine. I got to make adjustments with this, so, but I'll keep going. Thank you for joining me, and please like and subscribe. I appreciate it. If you're new and you've recently subscribed, if you hit the notification bell, it will let you know when I upload a video. But I hope you enjoyed watching this, watching my struggle. It's not something you ever master, I'll tell you. Painting is very tough, so don't beat yourself up. No matter how long you do it, you still struggle with it. But I love it, so I keep doing it. All right, thank you so much for joining me, and you have a wonderful night, and please stay well.